Hey, YouTube, this is Southern Prepper One. Today, I want to talk about electric vehicles. As a prepper, I look at electric vehicles as, hey, could this be something to give us more self-reliant? We could have our own charging station at the house, be it solar, and use this to power ourselves. Um, I think it's funny because Texas has just issued a warning to conserve massive amounts of power because of the cold weather that's hitting Texas. And a few years ago, remember, they had that cold weather that caused a lot of deaths, a lot of damage to property. And they also said, don't use your washing machine. So when the government is pushing the use of electric vehicles and to increase them, but then you have the Texas power grid saying, hey, don't even use your washing machine. We definitely have a problem. And all over, I'm getting reports because of either cold weather, people are asked to conserve, or in the hot weather, people are asked to conserve. So our infrastructure is not there to support all of the electric cars that the Biden administration wants. The Biden administration is definitely pushing the electric cars, and this is really a government spending program, and they're supporting these EVs. They have many programs out there. The bipartisan infrastructure bill, and that's a $5 billion plan to get states to build a charging network. They also have another plan, a $2.5 billion plan for a grant program that will support charging. It also has inside it ways to improve air quality. Also, they want to increase EV charging capabilities in disadvantaged communities. To me, a disadvantaged community is in the inner city. I don't know many people that live in the inner city that can afford an electric vehicle, but they would love to put some charging stations there. It also has a $17 million program to support domestic battery production. It has another $7 billion plan to support the battery chain supply issues. So there's a lot of tax money going into this project. They're also offering tax credits of $7,500. So basically, what they're doing there is really trying to push for the gas and the diesel vehicles to be pushed out of existence. And that's their whole plan. The plan, I believe, is truly to be more dependent on the government. Is more independent to take a gallon of gas, put it in your vehicle, and take off, go wherever you want. I can transport gas a lot easier than I can transport electricity for my vehicle or for your vehicle. So it is definitely a control issue. I also feel that, let's hypothetically say 20 years from now, we've gone over to a lot of electric vehicles and our power grid does crash, or there's a national emergency, a war, and the grid is taken down. You would then freeze a lot of people from driving. Now, the federal government would probably like that, but I think that's not the answer for us for our survival. They're giving a ton of money also to American car manufacturers. They're trying to do everything they can to get these manufacturers on board. Ford is losing a lot of money on their electric cars program. They lost $3 billion, I think, last year in 2023. Out of the last 2 years, they've lost $5.1 billion. So they're not making a lot of money. Biden administration wants all cars manufactured in the U.S., 50% of them by 2030 to be electric. California's even worse. They want 100% sold in California by the year 2035. I cannot see the grid supporting this. We would have utter chaos. But their ultimate goal is to put you in a city and not let you travel at all. Right now, there's a little less than 3 million electric cars on the streets. And that's up from, I think, 2.1 or 2 point something last year, and then up 1.3 from the year before. So we're slowly getting more electric vehicles on the road. Right now, there's only 1% of all vehicles on the road are electric. So imagine 1%. It'd be hard to support those right now. Take it the Texas situation, or take it in the summertime when they ask us to conserve because of the heat. The vehicles do not do good in the cold. The batteries that are put in them are I would say, the more unsafe batteries, and they put those in there, the ion batteries, because they're lighter weight. They're not as good as the lithium iron phosphate, which is a much safer battery, but it's a little bit heavier. So when the temperatures get down to freezing, you could lose up to 20 to 40% of your range on that electric vehicle. So that, to me, that's not a survival check. That's a negative to it. Also, when it gets very hot, when it gets over 95 degrees, you can lose up to 17% of your range on your batteries. Um, they say if it's really hot, don't use your air conditioner, cut your air conditioner down. In the South, if it's 95 degrees and you have your windows up, you better have air conditioning on. Uh, there's also the problem of shipping them. When you ship them overseas, they've been known to have fires. And when you start one of these vehicles on fire, it's hard to put out, and it spreads rapidly on a vehicle transport on the ocean. Typically, a regular gas-powered or diesel-powered vehicle, you can put out between 500 and 1,000 gallons of water. We'll put one out. I put a few out in training, and I put two out in real life. And they were gas-powered vehicles, very easy to put out, and they weren't big fires. But electric vehicles typically take 3,000 to 8,000 gallons, so a lot more than 500 to 1,000. And then you have some Tesla vehicles or some other electric vehicles. When they get their batteries burning, you could use 30 to 40,000 gallons of water. That's a lot of water. That is a problem. If you're not next to a fire hydrant, you are running a lot of water back and forth. Also, if those batteries are exposed to a flood, do not start your vehicle up and say, "Oh, let me see if it's still working," after it dries out. Get it professionally checked, because sometimes when you do start it up after it's been exposed to water, it could start a fire. So immediately do not start a vehicle that's an electric vehicle after it's been submerged in water. Typically, they have to replace the batteries, and that is very, very expensive. You can run anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 just to replace the batteries. So, to me, electric vehicle, to me, it sounds cool. You know what? I could come home, plug it into my solar system that I use to support my house, and get free, travel. I could then next day drive around. And that is a possibility. And I like that. If I lived in town and I traveled 10 or 15 miles a day, a small electric car might be the answer for me. Typically, if you buy an electric vehicle, you need a power station. You can plug it into a regular electrical outlet, but it could take all night. So typically, an electrical vehicle would be good for 50 to 60 miles a day. That's all you're driving. By the time you get home, charge it up overnight, you'll be fine. You can go ahead and get better charging stations for your house, and they run off of 220, and they're a lot quicker. So charging your vehicle is important. If you go to a commercial or a charging station that's out in the public, usually they're the best of the best, and it's typically going to take you 20 to 30 minutes to charge your vehicle, compared to 5 minutes when I just pull up to a gas station. So the charging rate is important. You might be traveling on vacation. Then you're going to have to plan out, hey, where are my charging stations? So it's going to take a little bit more effort to make sure you do not run out. So let's say we have all these vehicles on the road. They haven't really addressed the issue of recycling all this batteries. What are they going to do 10 years from now when these batteries go bad? And some batteries are going bad a lot quicker than 10 years. If you abuse your batteries, you run it up, and then you crash it down to a very low number, capability or capacity, your battery is not going to last what they say it's going to last, and then you'll have to be replaced. So there's a lot of pros and cons. I want electric vehicles to thrive, but I want it to thrive under the capitalism system. I wanted the market to determine what we have out there, not the federal government telling us what we have, demanding what we have, and then using taxpayer money to get their way. So I'm for electric vehicles, but I'm not for it being shoved down our throats. Thanks for watching.